Hi and welcome to today's video. My name's Abby and I'm here to help you to get the most out of your social media presence. And in today's video, we're going to be looking at how you can get the most out of your Facebook insights so that you can continuously improve your presence either for yourself or for your clients. So let's get started. Okay, so if you've got a business or you have a set of clients that you're working with, obviously when it comes to Facebook reporting, there is loads and loads of data that's available on Facebook. So if you head over to your Facebook page and you go to Facebook Insights, you've got all of this information when you first land into Insights. But the question is, where exactly do you start and what metrics should you be pulling? So I'll be taking you through how you can get the most out of your Facebook report. So the first thing for you to think about is, what are the objectives of your business? So are you trying to grow your channels so that you can raise awareness? Are you trying to drive traffic to your website? Are you trying to get a certain share of the market? Are you trying to generate sales? Whatever your objectives might be for your business, that's the first place to start. So this will be what your goal is as your business, as well as what you're trying to achieve from your social platforms, and should be part of your initial social media strategy. So once you know what your objectives are, you want to line up your metrics and KPIs with those objectives. So like I said, if your objective is to drive more traffic to your website, then one of the KPIs that you might have is link clicks, and it might be click-through rate as well. If you're creating a community where you want to engage and create a new place for customers to come and interact with you and raise brand awareness, then perhaps engagement will be a metric that you're going to be measuring. So straight away, we've already identified one of them will be click-through rates and the other one will be an engagement rate. Generally, most businesses will want to measure the growth of their channels as well. So followers and likes will also be an element to consider. How your followers have grown from one month to the next. Now, one of the things that sometimes people don't have a look at is why people might have unliked your page and stopped following you. So have a look at the insights. Facebook does provide you with a little bit of information so you can understand exactly why people have stopped following you. The next thing for you to think about is engagement rate. Now, when it comes to the engagement rate, have a look and see what your industry average is. So you can literally just Google that and find some reports online that are available, and they will tell you what your industry average is in terms of engagement rate for every single social platform that's out there. So say, for example, if you work in the food and beverage industry, it might be a 0.05% engagement rate on Facebook. So that is your average engagement rate across the whole of the month. And the way that you would calculate that is adding up every single engagement that you've had on every post that's been posted during the 1st of July to the 31st of July, for example, and then dividing by the number of posts that you have. That will then give you your average, so that you know every month you're going to be comparing these two averages and you can see whether you've had an increase or decrease. One of the things to keep in mind is, although you've got a month-on-month average which tells you how well you're performing, there will be certain things that might throw that average a little bit out. So for example, you might have had one post that did particularly well. So remember to always mention that in your monthly report to explain that, okay, the reason why we've had a massive spike for this month is actually because this particular post here had X amount of engagement, where on average we usually get X, and that's why it's massively shot up. So we would like to learn from these insights, and moving forward we're going to do more content like this. Find out from that post that you've created what exactly made that success. So we've talked about objectives, thinking about your metrics, looking at followers and likes, and also engagement rate. The other thing for you to look at, perhaps for your business, is your click-through rate. So Facebook doesn't really easily let you find this information. You can go onto Facebook Insights and you can go ahead and export information. And this is what I usually do for my monthly reporting. So you will go to Facebook Insights and you can export data for your month and the previous month, or whatever your date range is. I think it's about 180 days. So depending on what you're trying to find out, you will either pull a post level report or a page level report. So you can export this information, and then you will see you have this Excel sheet which has got lots and lots of different columns. And I know that can be a bit like, oh, well, where exactly do you start? So don't get overwhelmed. And this is why it's important to think about your objectives and think about what your KPIs are, because that will help you to navigate your way around. So have a look, get familiar with those insights so you can see what information you can pull. And then as time goes on, you might want to evolve your reporting. How well are your posts engaging? When it comes to certain pieces of content, do you get more comments? Do you get more likes? Do you get more shares? And then drilling down into what exactly it is and why people have shared or commented on that particular piece of content. So that brings me on to the next stage. So when you've done your top line initial kind of overview of exactly what each metric is doing for you, so you've looked at your objectives, you know how many followers and likes you've had month on month, you looked at the engagement rate, you looked at your link clicks, which is available in page or post level data, and then you want to start looking at the nitty gritty. So you want to start having a look at the actual posts and trying to understand, okay, well, what did the best that month and why did it do particularly well? Have you found that when you post video content, actually that video content does particularly well? So maybe you could do some more there. So that's the next stage of your report, is having a good analysis of exactly what is happening on your social channels and what's working. So once you've done that, you now know your overall month-on-month figures, you know what content's performing the best. The next thing that I wanted to talk about and mention is actually looking at the times of posting and the number of posts. I get asked about this all the time. So my answer would be, have a look and see what works best for your business. So if you're posting 4 times a week or you're doing 2 times a day, then maybe that works best for your business. But it's always about focusing on the quality, and that's why looking at the content and seeing what your engagement rate's been on those pieces of content, you'll be able to understand whether actually, instead of us bombarding the channels with so many posts every day, perhaps if we cut it down and we just focused on really concise posts, we start to see an increase in the engagement, right? So that's something for you to consider. The other thing, when it comes to the times of when you post, don't get so hung up on this because it will always vary based on your client, but also think about it logically. So most of the time when people are available or will go onto their social channels will be first thing in the morning when they go on a commute. I know currently the circumstances are a bit different, so those lines are slightly blurred, but you'll have morning, lunchtime and evening, and sometimes late evening will actually have the best engagement rate. So have a play around, and again, use your insights from your Facebook page to help you to determine when you should be posting on your social channels. It's really important for you to have a good understanding about who your audience is. So I would highly recommend going over to Facebook Audience Insights to get a good understanding about who is on your page, who is following you, who's engaged with you. You can also find out insights such as what other pages are they following, so that can kind of give you a bit of a guide about who are your competitors or what kind of content are your followers actually engaging with. So have a look at Audience Insights and get a good understanding about who your audience is, so that when you're doing any paid activity in the future, you can use those insights to get the most out of your paid strategy. Now, the final thing for you to think about is what exactly has your report shown you? So you've had a look at your objectives. So slide 1 will be your objectives. For example, slide 2 will be a quick snapshot of what's happened that month. So like I said, those important figures such as your likes, your followers, which some people say is a vanity metric, but you still will probably want to monitor your growth. And then you've got your engagements, impressions, so the number of people that you're reaching on your page, which I forgot to mention, and also your click-through rate and number of link clicks that you've had on your website. Then the next slide will probably be a deeper analysis and a deep dive into individual posts, so you can highlight the best ones and think about why they've performed well. And then the last thing that you want to do is, obviously every month you'll be pulling this report, so you'll be able to pull insights each month and you'll be able to explain why a certain piece of content has done better than other pieces of content. And this is where you're constantly evolving your Facebook strategy and for all social media. So don't forget to add in a summary / next step slide where you'll be thinking about, okay, well, I know this worked. I know maybe this kind of content worked really well. I tagged this particular person, it worked really well. These are the hashtags that I used. Or, maybe we reduced the number of times we were posting. Whatever it might be, remember to highlight it in your summary of the report so that you can then actually take some actionable actions onto your next report that you pull, and you'll constantly be improving your social media strategy for Facebook. So a couple of other things for you to think about is using tools such as Facebook IQ and also Google Consumer Barometer. This will give you a better insight into who your target audience is and basically understanding consumer behavior, whatever industry you're working in. And this is what can really add more value to the report that you're pulling. So have a look and see how you are faring up against this benchmark, and just use those insights to help you improve your content. So definitely check those out. I will link them in the description below. There are a couple of other things that you can do to really make your Facebook report stand out and really help you to get a good understanding about what's going on. And that is social listening. So I will create another video which looks at social media listening and how you can listen to everything that's going on online in terms of not just social but also the news, blogs, etc., and pull together a really comprehensive report so that you've got lots of information to help again improve your strategy. So if you'd like to hear more about that, then again please do comment below and I'll create that video for you too. And that's it for today. Thank you so much. I hope you found that useful. As always, please don't forget to like and subscribe to my video. It really helps me to understand whether you're finding this content useful, and I will see you next week on the next video. Thank you very much, and bye for now.